The federal government has spent billions of dollars to help schools navigate the pandemic. But as cases soar over in our classrooms, Reveal investigator Rebecca Lindstrom followed the money and found a big gap in how much districts received to fight back.
Just about every school district used the money to offset state budget cuts, pay for summer school, and to buy things like hand sanitizer and masks. But after that, the purchases vary widely. Fulton is launching a $90 million plan to improve reading test scores, while Cobb and DeKalb are pledging millions to reduce class size. Metro districts definitely got the largest chunk of money, but if we arrange them by enrollment instead, the list shuffles a bit. That's because the money wasn't divided evenly. It was weighted toward districts with low-income students.
We're the sixth largest school system. We're probably one of the highest achieving school systems, but we got the least amount of money for the entire state.
That's Larry Hamill, the chief financial officer for the Forsyth County school system. He's looking at the money in terms of dollars per student, and it's a pretty big gap. Forsyth essentially received $517 per student to deal with the impacts of COVID-19. On the other end of the spectrum, Odyssey Charter School in Coweta County received nearly $35,000.
We were in the same boat as every other school system in the state of Georgia, that we didn't know what was going to happen. We had 50,000 students. We had to find supplies to take care of these 50,000 students.
Odyssey is an unusual case. It still gets a portion of funding for 13,000 virtual students that used to attend the school. These days, it only has about 400 face-to-face students, so that chunk of change from the feds is going towards some pretty cool stuff.
They have a new playground over here.
The principal wouldn't talk with us about how the school is spending the money, but parents seemed pretty pleased. A bird's eye view gives you a look at some of the changes.
They got a new addition to the building. They redid like everything.
Everything like 500 new computers, new desks, chairs, more teachers, even $350,000 for a therapy emotional support dog.
So I do feel like it does help the education because overall I feel like the whole school is happy.
Other districts wish they could share in that joy, but set Odyssey aside, and even when you look back on the list of schools with the highest enrollment, the funding gap is extreme. Forsyth says it has stretched the money the best it can, upgrading 2 elementary school HVAC systems and supporting bus drivers.
A lot of our bus drivers weren't working because there was no kids to drive.
Hamill doesn't begrudge any district for getting the money, but he says the cost for fogging equipment to combat the virus and sick pay for teachers in quarantine is the same, regardless the economic status of the student. There might be some people who are going to argue you got a lot of money, so you don't need the funding.
I can see that argument, but this was money that was supposed to make schools whole, and I don't think we've been made whole.